Fighting about Kavanaugh? Respectful speaking is the value of the queen in woman. Greetings, sisters. Have you had some hard conversations lately about a particular judge? Because I sure have. Respectful speaking is a primary value of the queen archetype in woman, because to speak respectfully, especially when arguing, shows your ability to retain your emotional self-control, even when you are dealing with some dominator model dimwit. It's not always important or necessary to maintain your complete composure. Once in a while, it is appropriate to yell, to get someone's attention by being very strong. But in general, it's great to have some degree of emotional self-control and speak respectfully, because that's part of your integrity as a woman, as a queen. You treat all with respect, no matter what they're doing. But even those of us who hold this as a value in our lives, respectful speaking towards all, even we, any of us, can momentarily forget that value in the heat of the moment. And forgetting is actually not the problem. It happens. You know, we are not perfect all the time, and sometimes we forget ourselves. The problem is, if you believe you have violated your own value of respectful speaking, the problem is in failing to apologize. And sometimes we refuse to apologize because we are struggling inappropriately for power in the relationship. So that was brought home to me recently. In the heat of the Kavanaugh moment this past week, I forgot my value of respectful speaking, and I spoke rudely to a very dear woman friend. She did not deserve it. And unfortunately, we hung up on that note. So hours later, I mentioned this to a gentleman friend, and I told him that I had decided to apologize to her. And he rushed to tell me, to advise me. And he truly thought he was giving me his best advice, but he was giving it from a pure patriarchal mindset. He said, never apologize because it makes you weak. And the reality is that apologizing only makes you weak if you are rooted in the dominator model of power in relationship, where one person has to be one up and one person has to be one down. In this very common scenario in our culture, which is a patriarchal culture, one person tends to have the power in the relationship and would never dream of apologizing to the so-called weaker one, because it feels to the ego like giving up power. If, however, you truly see the two of you as inherently equal in value, which the queen in woman does, then there's no reason to struggle for power in the relationship, and there's no concern about looking weak before the other. We only fear looking weak if there is some kind of power struggle dynamic going on. And the queenly woman never struggles for power. She is secure and confident in her own power, and apologizing to another when necessary, does not weaken her sense of power. As a queen, you are so secure and powerful in your own calm, queenly confidence that it is very easy for you to apologize if you believe you need to. And always keep the apology clean. Clean is just apologizing profoundly without adding all the reasons why you were compelled to behave so badly, under so much stress, blah, blah, blah. All of that muddies the apology. Just apologize most sincerely from your heart and wait respectfully for your answer. Only apologize if you feel you have violated your own values. Never apologize because the other person demands it, because you are afraid of conflict and you want to pacify the other person. Never apologize because you're afraid of retaliation, because that's just fear. Never apologize because you are afraid of losing someone. If that's your situation, that person needs to go. Only apologize when you feel you have violated your own values. Or maybe, as happened to me once, if a court orders you to do so. And so then apologize if you choose, simply as a matter of legal expediency. But you can kind of cross your fingers behind your back. You are still queen, and karma will take care of all of that. So women everywhere are enraged by the injustice of the Kavanaugh situation, by the outrage of having a pussy-grabbing president, an outrage. And I am getting daily calls from women who are so distressed about the terrible fights that they are having with loved ones over this. Most women really hate to argue, but this is not the time to go silent. Continue to speak up, because to be silent right now is to be complicit with the oppression of women. But speak up respectfully, because that is your queenly value. That is who you are. That is part of your integrity, part of your self-respect. And if you forget, if you violate your own value of respectful speaking, then apologize. And remember, apologizing to that ignorant, bootlicking minion of patriarchy does not mean that they are right and you are wrong. No, Kavanaugh as a justice is so wrong. Our pussy-grabbing president is so wrong, is so dreadful. You are right about all of that. No, you are not ever apologizing for your viewpoints. You are simply apologizing, when necessary, for violating your own queenly values, if that has happened. So you simply say to them, I realize I have violated my own value of respectful speaking, and for that I am profoundly sorry. I do sincerely apologize to you. And then, with your composure regained, with your values remembered, you carry on like a queen. Blessed be.